All right, in another video, we looked at how to export your dashboard as a story. In this video, we are going to look at some customizations that you'll need to make to your story, right? So here is my car insurance claim story that I initially created from my dashboard. However, when I created the story, I did not specify any transitions between scenes. I did not specify any scene timing, right? So that's what we're gonna look at right now. Now, here, when I expand this panel, right, I can select the individual scenes that I want to work on, right? Here we go, right? So now I'm going to select perhaps the second scene, right? And what else I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the timing of elements on the second scene. What I mean by timing is that when things appear and when things disappear. So let's go ahead and click here to open the timing. Notice that this scene, it consists of two objects. I have the total claim amount decision tree, then I have a spiral model, and I have this, again, decision tree. I believe one of them, visualization, shows how it shows a sunburst, and another one shows the actual tree, right? So I can do, see this? If I minimize, right? If I minimize this, I can see my scene, right? It's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go back. Here, this here, each scene by default is 5 seconds long. See this? And over here, this is a time marker. So for instance, if I want to show this element 4 starting from the second, I'm gonna take this handle and I'm gonna drag it here. See this? 2 seconds, and this is when this starts, when this object appears. What else I could do is, for example, suppose that I want the third object to disappear at the third second. I can just go ahead and drag and drag over here, right? So this shows when an object appears, and this shows here when it disappears. By default, my scene is 5 seconds long. I can make it longer. Just to make it longer, this is what you do. You just drag this here, right? So if I drag this, now I'm changing the scene duration. And I also want to drag everything else that I want to appear at the end of the scene. But what I mean actually, let's see here. I'm going to minimize this, right? And I'm going to now minimize this, and I'm on the second scene. So let's see what actually happens when I play this scene. So now notice that in this scene, you don't see the fourth object, right? Why? It's because I specified that I don't want that object to show when I start playing this scene, right? I don't want it to show until the second 2 or 3, something like that. So let's go ahead and play this scene. And to play this scene, you're gonna click on this play button, and let's see what happens. See this? See that? See that? It appeared, disappeared, and the scene duration is approximately 6 seconds because I increased the scene duration, right? And at the end, see this? Object 3 does not show, right? So basically at approximately 2 seconds, I want to show object 4 and I want to stop showing object 3. Similarly, I can configure all scenes, right? I can configure the duration and etc. What else I could configure here is this. I click over here. This is the properties. And this is going to be the overall story properties. So make sure that you don't have any scenes selected and you don't have any objects on a scene selected, just to see the overall story properties. here, this is a layout. So in another video, I mentioned that in any time, if you're not happy with the layout, you may change it, right? For example, I just changed my layout here, all right? Another thing you could do is, see here, this is color consistency, right? I've got my layout. Here, I want to show all things at the start. So, which means this is what I see. I see this overview, and I see the overview at the end, all right? Now, what else do I have in here? I guess that's about it, right? Oh, and also I've got the story type. I have guided journey. If I wanted to, I could switch to the slideshow, right? So that's going to be the slideshow. Or here, I could also specify the scene transition. Right now, I'm in a slideshow, right? I can specify my scene transition, and I want to do animated pause. This option was not available for guided journey, but it's available for the slideshow. See this? So I want to do the slideshow, and I want to do animated pause. Let's close the properties. Now what I'm going to do is, over here, I want to play all scenes, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to preview all scenes. So to start with, I selected the first scene, and here I'm in edit mode. I'm going to switch to preview mode. When I'm in the preview mode, I no longer see the filters area, right? And I no longer can edit my story unless I switch back to the edit mode. So watch. What I'll do now is I'll hit play, and you will see what happens. So the first scene is about 5 seconds. Then I'm looking at my second scene, right? And see that the timing that I specified still applies, right? And etc. It's going to play the entire story until it's done with the 5 scenes, right? What I could also do is if I want to play it more than once, I could do the loop, right? All right. So let's look at what else I've got in here. I can go ahead and put it back in the edit mode to continue editing my properties if I want to, right? So let's go ahead and select the properties. And I did the animated pause. If I want, I can also do the sweep transition between my scenes. So save. And let's take a look at that here. Let's close this out. Let's return back to the view mode. And I'm going to play all scenes now, right? Let's see what's gonna happen. This is the first one. And see this? This is a different type of the transition. All right, so that was the transition between scene property. This property is not available for guided journey, all right? So let's go ahead and return to the edit mode. What else I could do is, of course, I could add another scene if I want to, right? And then I select my template and I keep on building to it. I keep on adding to it, right? And remember that you may add the filters that apply to a single scene, or you may also add the filters that apply to all scenes. This is somewhat similar to what you did when you created the dashboard, right? So here you can collapse the filters area, expand collapse, right? And this is how you minimize this area, right? This is your scenes. Now, to look at the properties of the specific scene, you're going to select it and click here. So you're looking now at the specific scene, right? Oh, but here, if I click here right now, I'm looking at the story property, right? So if I want to look at the properties of specific object on the scene, I need to select that object. I need to select that object. It's a visualization, right? And if I wanted to, I could also select, well, in here it's unavailable, right? The animation for this specific object is not available. The properties that I have depend on the object type that I select, right? And also, since I'm in the edit mode now, what I could do is I could edit my visualization, right? I can click here and it will open the visualization in the focus mode and it can be edited, right? Then similar to the dashboard, over here, I see my fields, right? This is the data module that was used as a source. And I also see the selectable filters that I defined. I see all my calculations that I defined in the data module. You may also define the calculations here, but those calculations will be unavailable anywhere else where you use this data module as a data source. They will be available only in this story, all right? Similarly, you can add your visualizations to the pins. You can pin your visualization, but keep in mind that when you reuse the pin somewhere else, you might lose some of the properties. And for more details, you can look at another video where we discussed the pin visualizations, all right? And similarly, when you add visualizations here to your scenes, you can use Assistant. You can add visualizations, right? Just from visualizations list. You may also add widgets such as text, videos, right? You may use Assistant, right? This is similar to what we discussed for explorations and for dashboards, right? And etc. And in addition, if you look at the specific scene, all objects in the scene are connected. In other words, if I select the data point here, the same data point will be selected in other visualizations. If you may recall, for the dashboard, you may also select one data point and all data points will be selected on the same tab, right? And you also, if you want to, you can see the widget connections and you can break the connections if you want to, right? You can break the connections if you want to do that, right? Create new connection, etc. So mainly, most of the customizations that you did for the dashboard are applicable to the stories, right? Now here, I'm gonna click this to switch out. Now, here you can zoom in and zoom out, right? And I'm gonna let you play around with available properties for the story. All right. And also one more thing, make sure that you save it. Always save your changes. And similar to other files, if the latest change was not saved, you're gonna see a little asterisk in here, okay? And another thing is that if you are previewing your dashboard, if your story, you have an option to do the full screen. You have an option to do full screen. And then to exit the full screen, you're gonna click on Escape key. All right? So this was a short video on what you can do to customize your story. Thank you and have a nice day.